Alright, this is Starmei versus ZoroarkForever, aka Illusions, aka on the old Tetsuo and Youth. This is for the finals, it's a best of 5. And we see Greninja offense from ZoroarkForever and a sort of rain balance from Starmei. Hit a couple of turns in already, with Greninja going down to the Diancie early on, the like. Ooh, and Darkrai has Thunder, which does an incredibly decent amount to the Genesect, which doesn't resist it, although it doesn't resist Dark Pulse either in this generation, although it did in the previous. But it's possibly, well, it's a great move versus that Kyogre, and it's great that it's in the rain. Both teams have Kyogres making it effective. Now, presumably here, Starmei wants to get up his rocks, and then in comes Arceus Ghost. And unless Starmei has Arceus Dark, which is Arceus form is not been revealed when it's possible, then this is a huge threat, be it Sword Dance or Calm Mind. Both of them are pretty great here, especially since Genesect, which is probably the Scarfer, can't really touch it very easily. And that's weakened as well, so if it's running extreme speed, okay, it's Calm Mind. Alright, Lando T U-turns for very little, but quite safely. And in comes Arceus Grass, which doesn't really beat this. Although I'm aware, I think that he has Calm Mind Arceus Grass of all things on this team, but even then, this is a crappy matchup for it. And depending on whether this is a speed tie or not, I think this just goes down. So yeah, I think this is a quick and early sweep from Illusions. Easiest name to say of his, isn't it? Is Illusions, but yeah. Well known for his experience in a hell of a lot of metas. Well, doing well in the advance, featured on Callus's channel already. Playing Little Cup in SPL, and he's well known for being able to play every Ubers meta as well as most OUs. Alright, well, this time for Ironhead flinches. Uses his only approach, but no, in comes Dialga, which actually still takes a surprising chunk from that. Comes down to about 14%, but this could happen. It probably won't, but it could. Okay, in comes Lando, which presumably gets rocks or fires off an Earthquake. Yeah, Earthquake's pretty safe this time around. Draco Meteor takes out Lando. It feels like Starmei's sort of back in it, but I'm sure that it won't really make a difference. I'm sure that the Arceus Ghost as it stands will still be pretty effective. It was a bit of a wasted defog there, since the rocks just go up instead as he Shadow Forces, and Starmei decides to forfeit. So that's game 1 over. On to game 2 pretty quickly, with Illusions just seeming to be very effective in that match. Greninja working out pretty well. Starmei making a misplay early on. He was saying about staying in with Diancie on the water move Greninja, which we missed a little bit, but I'll move the screen so you can see in turn 1 this happened. And that was a big misplay by Starmei there. So, should be on to game 2 very soon. I'll get in there as soon as it happens. Okay, and we see weird team building from Starmei with the Xatu and Among Us and Blaziken, but it does seem workable, and this is Illusions is Ho-Oh Sableye build, which has Dialga, which I never really think is that good, but having played and lost to it, I don't know how much I'm allowed to criticize it. And we see the Kyogre as a Sableye, so if it has Fake Out, then it uses it there, but it doesn't, and in comes Arceus Grass to eat an Origin Pulse, and it eats it easily, so that's presumably not choice specs. Question is what comes in versus this? Blaziken, Xatu, and Amoonguss all have a fairly nice time versus it, and even Glistor could come in easy, which would have prevented against Ho-Oh being such a pain here since it could have gotten up its Toxic Orb. But in comes Tyranitar, and we see a Brave Bird, which is eaten up very well by the Tyranitar, and if it has rocks it can get it, and we see leftovers on it, which means he must have other means of handling whatchamacallit, Mewtwo and Arceus Ghost, which otherwise you want Chocolate Berry for normally. Kyogre's leftovers are knocked off, which we didn't see revealed before since it had taken no damage. But Sableye comes in, however, rocks remain up. But Arceus Grass comes in there and is able to defog fairly freely. But what does this Glistor do here? It manages to get its Toxic Orb up, but Defog's bounced back, but I'm not sure how much use that actually is. U-turns there for momentum, which is handy, but I'm not sure what he really has that can kill it. I think there's only the Kyogre, which has no leftovers, which at least wasn't affecting its power level, but he has Arceus Grass and Dialga, and it Calm Minds, although it doesn't have the rain support now, which is annoying. So, are we going to see a Judgment here? And what sort of set are we going to see? Are we going to see 3 attacks? Which should be Origin Pulse as already revealed, and then Ice Beam and Thunder. Are we going to see 2 attacks and Rest? Which should probably be Ice Beam. Are we going to see Thunder Wave? There's a lot of possible stuff. I don't think we'd have seen Thunder Wave because he would have used it already, so it's either Rest or 3 attacks most likely. So judging by that, I'd suspect, well, it still must be one of those 2. And Ice Beam there, which freezes the Ho-Oh, but Sacred Fire will free it. However, that won't let it KO the Kyogre, which is a pain. That definitely helps Starmie. But I happen to know that he runs Jolly Ho on this build, I think. But it gets through and it hits, but it doesn't quite KO there, leaving the Kyogre at 3%, but he's taken down the Ho-Oh, which all in all wasn't too threatening, I don't think. I think it's hard to say exactly what will be. It's more of a case of what can he break. But yeah, I think considering that's Jolly Ho, so yeah, Timid Max Kyogre. You can switch out there, although it's not hugely useful. Although if he has Wish, then maybe, but at worst it's fodder. But that Judgment does an awful lot to Xatu, which is pretty much forced to roost here. Oof, and that critical hit is nasty, and Xatu's pretty much out of it, and all of a sudden Dialga's going to be an effective rocker, and if this is Assault Vest, then it doesn't even have Spore, and it's not really relevant. But how effective is Blaziken going to be here? I would have thought that Blaziken would have come in by now, since it comes in very nicely on the Arceus Grass, and there it is finally. And it's Sword Dance, and the only real answer to it is the Sableye, which whilst it's still healthy, it has been chipped a little bit by Xatu's U-turns. Which means that, this is also Mega by the looks of the team. Can Sword Dance work? A Flare Blitz there, which 2-hit KOs. And well, we know it doesn't even have Fake Out, so it can't chip it like that. And this is a very big threat, and he doesn't have much that can really handle this. He Flare Blitzes, which takes it out, which means that he can now get his rocks back up when he wants it. In comes Xerneas, which does handily force it out, and in comes presumably Amoonguss, the only thing that really switches into it. Moonblast does very little. We don't know the item on Xerneas. It could be Scarf. It's not lethal, but it could still be something like Pixie Play, Expert Belt, Choice Specs, though general damage is not Choice Specs. Clear Smogs there to prevent Calm Mind boosting. But he needs to regenerate with this, although he does have more than one piece of fodder in Xatu and Kyogre, and if he switches out to Blaziken, then at least he gets Regenerator off, which helps if Xerneas brings itself back in, or Kyogre. And in comes Dialga instead on the switch. as Blaziken comes in, which is an interesting choice. But since that's his win condition, he's probably not going to risk it here, and might well go Glissaw, which can be threatening. But no, he goes for it, and it KOs. Okay, so I'm not sure why he brought that in there. Then I'm not sure what he was going for, other than maybe abusing Among Us. But Blaziken was the threat there, and I felt that he needed to bring in either Kyogre or Xerneas in there to be threatening. In comes Kyogre, Origin Pulses. He can either go Tyranitar and reset the weather, or just go Among Us. In comes Arceus Grass, which gets Grass Modded. And then in can come pretty much whatever Starmie wants. Yeah, Blaziken was sort of expected that. Judgment still does a fair bit. Whilst it resists it, and Arceus Grass isn't very invested, I think Blaziken's still very frail. However, at that range, even low kick is KO. It has an 80-80-80 bulk, which is dreadful in this tier, but it obviously has monstrous offensive stats, so, and it does look really cool. I do love it. Okay, but now Among Us basically just wins in inverted commas, but it is liable to be won, and it's really a shit check to Xerneas and Kyogre, but it'll work, I'm sure, well enough. In comes Tyranitar. Oh, how terrible the special attack drop, which doesn't make a difference. But yes, Starmie's Among Us should more or less win here now. Or he can go Glissaw, take a hit and do an Earthquake back. But yeah, his team is like really badly prepared for Xerneas and Kyogre. I mean, it has Among Us, which is sort of a technical answer, but the rest of the team provides it so much room for Kyogre and Xerneas that it doesn't really it doesn't really do a good enough job. But he wins this match and he brings it back to 1-1 tie. Well, I'm not sure Starmie's completely won this yet, but we'll see. Since the Kyogre's not got leftovers on it and it's stuck at a measly 2.7%, it has to win the speed tie versus this. You can see ZoroarkForever saying, okay, let's win some ties. So presumably it means that they're both max timid Kyogre. Starmie already revealed that his was when he was against the Ho-Oh, saying that it was a tie, so. But this Among Us survives, so he needed to crit there to win, and he does not get it, so Starmie evens up the series. Okay. I'm sorry I had to take a break to the bathroom, but we're into game 3 with Illusions bringing out the Greninja team again, which we didn't really see all of. Starmie bringing out a balance with like Glissaw, Latias, Yveltal, Xerneas. Yeah, well, obviously you can see it, can't you? Double Fairy, but otherwise reasonably typical looking. However, Dialga looks like it's being a threat with Draco Meteor, Roar, and Stealth Rock revealed already, and those hazards up safely. It's not really known if Diancie can actually block it or not, but Flash Cannon is the best move on it to do that. Presumably this will just Draco here to do nothing, or it'll Flash Cannon if it has it. So Draco, if it doesn't have it, in order to not get rocks up or phased out, or Fire Blast, I guess, even, or whatever his fourth is. But no, in comes Aegislash on the Flash Cannon, which was revealed. But Diancie's not really doing anything in this game. It would have, if Toxic Spikes weren't up, maybe checked Darkrai for a little part of the match. That was about it. Aegislash is coming in and threatening it with Iron Head, which is his best means of handling it by the looks of things. An offensive Dialga would be a pain for this team, but they're rare and difficult to build with and use. So Aegislash is doing a goodish job with Iron Head flinches being his main means of offense here. I presume he must not have a ghost type attack such as Shadow Ball, but in comes Glissaw safely which can fire off an Earthquake and recover completely on that. And we'll get to see what variant of Arceus this is, but Evil Tal is the obvious thing to come in, which eats a Judgment. We see no item, and it eats a Thunder and it goes down. And that's bad news bears for Starmie. Presuming it could roost, but no, the Thunder takes it out, and now he's in a bad spot. With that rare but nevertheless pretty good set making an impact this game. Starmie's back on the back foot. Could put him in a bad spot, but the 1-1 so far after this match, it looks like ZoroarkForever is going to be 2-1. He gets an special attack drop, which isn't useless, but it's not doing enough in this game. Lord knows what that last move is. Perhaps he has Shadow Sneak here, which can critical hit. No, he doesn't. It just goes down. And unless Gliscor can take a hit, which it probably could. Oh, okay, so in Latias, then I'm not sure what he's doing, but no, I think Starmie's just absolutely fallen down this match and has nothing he can really do against the Arceus Ghost set. Yeah, so that looks like the conclusion to this game, and that puts Starmie with 2 opportunities left to win. Needs to win both of the next games in order to get through. Sorry, my commentary's not so with it. Oh wow, that lived. Yeah, I'm a bit tired, but and I already did an hour-long video for the same channel today, so yeah, it's a bit much. But I'm a bit sleepy, but Starmie is saying this, that he had an old Aegis set that had King's Shield and Toxic that would have been fine here, but no, he doesn't, so rip. I'm not sure why he didn't King's Shield there if he did have it, though. It's a weird move not to be running on it. But Gliscor survives as well, gets off an Earthquake, but Gliscor alone isn't going to do this, and Darkrai just cleanly sleeps here, as does Mewtwo, as does Kyogre, almost as does, well, as doesn't Dialga, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, so that's game over, and Starmie's up, down even, 1-2, so ZoroarkForever. Okay, we're into the next one, so alright. And we've got an interesting looking balance from Illusions and another interesting team from Starmie. I've seen both of these players' teams before, so I don't know. I'm not particularly fond of either of them, maybe, but Thunder there just taking up that Arceus Water, although there's the opportunity now for a miss that could save him if he doesn't have Bell, but okay, in comes a Starmie, and in comes a Gliscor on the Thunder, and gets up his Toxic Orb. Starmie's got 2 Ghost types and a Psychic type, and I bet that Arceus isn't going to help him with Arceus Dark or Ghost. I bet he's really weak to that. I'm still recording. Sorry, I had to speak with my girlfriend, sort of, Eliza, because Sapphire version is being peculiar and crashing when she does a certain thing. But anyway, see, where are we at? We've got Ho-Oh into this Starmie here. I don't know, it's looking sort of like, well, both sides have rocks up, so Ho-Oh is not being amazing on either side, but Kyogre looks like it can break stuff here. It's got Fake Out, so it can Fake Out here for some free damage at the least. But he doesn't, he switches in Gliscor instead on the Roost. So Ho-Oh is able to keep itself around, but we've seen rocks on this so far, which I don't think is a very good set. But Sub-Roost Ho-Oh, presumably Life Orb then, but that's interesting. However, I still don't think it breaks Gliscor. I think it'll stall it, but only for a bit. Presumably there's roost on this Glissaur, so it doesn't really matter. He's just got to fish for a crit. Or he doesn't even have roost, which is terrible. Did he just misclick? He did. He's... really? That is going to cost him so much. I was going to open up the game, and I think that could lose him the tournament at this rate. In comes Arceus Water, which is a sacrifice at this point. It needs to force him with Life Orb Recall to either die or let Glissaur heal. But yeah, that's very painful for him. Mewtwo here does seem pretty good versus this team though, and it's got leftovers, so it's quite probably Stall 2, which is a set with Side Strike, Taunt, Whisper, and Recover, although I don't think it's a terribly good set. In this metagame, it was a good choice in XY. However, Heatran is a pretty solid answer to it, but no, it reveals Focus Blast, so there's some peculiar set then. Leftovers with Side Strike and Focus Blast, and that certainly caught me off guard as well as ZF. So, in comes Kyogre, which is just a threat out of 10 here. What is he sacking? Something dies. And my graphics driver responded, just died. Wonderful. Okay, in comes Glissaur. Aegislash can stall it a little with King's Shield, get rid of the rain, and hit it. Doesn't have King's Shield, but it survives it. It's, well, specially defensive Aegislash is standard in this metagame. So that's why it can take the hit surprisingly well. Presumably it's just Scarf Ogre, but it KOs there, so we should have gone for a second King's Shield. You must not be calking. So that's poor on Starmie's end, and now this is very threatening. However, Mewtwo can come in and get a free hit here, which is quite nice. Since there's nothing left to take, that Side Strike, which is about his only real option, is to try and break stuff with that Mewtwo as fast as he can. But it was able to force him out before with that rain going out, so no, he brings in Sableye instead, which can fake out here and get rid of that last rain turn, and he might as well stay in with Kyogre just to guarantee that. But no, instead he goes Diancie to get momentum, which worked out, but I don't think was necessary. Anyway, I think ZoroarkForever is going to win this game and win the series, so but let's see if Starmie can do some surprising things. But no, I think this looks like a fairly clean victory here, barring that misclick which opened him up to Ho, which in turn just opened him up to other stuff. But yeah, we see Calm Mind on Mewtwo. Is it Recover as well? Oh, that would be a set, wouldn't it? Oh, it doesn't recover that. Diamond Storm does an impressive 48%, and it boosts his defense, which will make Side Strikes a lot easier to stomach, although it can still Focus Blast. He can recover here, and he can fish for a Diamond Storm, miss or run out of PP, hoping that he doesn't crit, which is his only opportunity. It's got 95% accuracy and 8 PP, so whilst the odds are probably in Starmie's favour here, and this Mewtwo is a real threat. Although there's rocks up, and Starmie's not going to get to use it. Sturdy here. I don't know if Mewtwo can one hit KO it though, but is out of Diamond Storm PP now, so he wants to start combining up against this Diancie and trying to make sure that he doesn't die to a crit. But yeah, this suddenly has gone his way with on this surprise Calm Mind Mewtwo, which just destroys this team, and my graphics display driver has died again. I'm so sorry. It's a new laptop, but it's shit because it's Windows 10. So I'm gonna get Ubuntu on it over Easter, and hopefully it shouldn't be so bad. But okay, here we go. We're gonna start killing stuff yet. At some point, well, there's only 6 Moonblast PP left, so he's just going to recover stall the remainder of those out and get calm minds up on that. I think at this point it's safe because a critical hit will only do an 83%, well, since we had one earlier, so we can more or less stall that out. But he needs like he's getting these drops though, which are very helpful. So you can calm mind here. But he's only at +1 special attack, even though he's at +5 special defense. So there's a chance that ZoroarkForever could still win this, which is why you don't give up. It's been one heck of a game, but now I think that Mega Sableye becomes hard to kill with only Mewtwo can do the job, as can maybe. So I'll take that back. It's a case of if he gets Mewtwo out of the way, then he should be able to win with whatever's left. I think. That's Side Strike critical hits and 1-hit KOs, which is a big deal, and probably means we're going to see a game 5. But how much is Focus Blast doing here? Is it going to 1-hit KO? It's neutral, but he has to hit. I'll see what his luck's like. He misses, and a Whirlwind has gotten off. So okay, he was going for the defog there, apparently. Yeah, I like the sound of his plan actually there. But yeah, that it sounds like he definitely still had a way to win it in spite of that, but it's been an interesting match, hasn't it? You can tell that he's pretty experienced in a tournament situation, though. He has been around for quite a while. Starmei really doesn't do anything there, and okay, right, well, let's follow back the match again. In comes the answer, which doesn't do anything, since it's completely run out of PP. Going for the Wisp there, but that goes down. And, well, Sableye's not really doing anything else this match. It's just going to die to something, and it's got to do its best to not be set up bait. So it's got Wisp for Skarm, Foul Play for Ho, Foul Play for Kyogre, I guess, and Wisp. But yeah, this sounds like Starmei's happy to admit that ZF has won the series pretty fairly and squarely, and he wasn't with it. Sort of feels like that, but it's definitely not been too bad a series. I mean, considering how underplayed this tier is, it's not a terrible final. So, oh, that's an interesting calc. So the miss didn't really matter. He needed to crit there. Thanks to all of those drops. But oh, see, Origin Pulse miss and Foul Play at Kyogre's at 24%, and it misses again. Maybe the Pokemon gods want Starmei to win. That's crazy, isn't it? And it Sacred Fires in the rain to get a burn off, and it achieves it. But Foul Play there. I think Ho is actually fine here, but he needs to keep it as healthy as he can. And the burn reduces the power of Foul Play by 50%. You see as well. That's how it works. So yeah, this is all of a sudden Ho is looking possible. Like it could win this. But okay, he brings in Mewtwo. No, he says it's been a bad match, but I think, well, the misclick notwithstanding, it's been quite an interesting one. It's gone between either side being in a victorious position more than once, which has been pretty exciting, I think. But out goes Ho-Oh, and in comes Starmei, which should just lose here. So realistically, you just go into Mega Sableye and Wisp it, but no, he lets Mewtwo get toxic. But Mega Sableye should just win this anyway, so thanks to Wisp. But he's obviously going to try and do the job quicker with this Mewtwo. So we'll see what happens here, but I think that ZF's gonna get stalled out by the Mega Sableye, and that's it, and that'll be the end to it, and we'll see a peculiar end to this game, I think. It'll be that, but I don't know quite how this happened. It's been bizarre. But Starmei is somehow just pulling it out, and then Focus Blast misses. Can't rely on that shit, can you? Okay, he hits one and activates Sturdy. If he hits this next one, then the game is over quicker. He's got enough HP left to survive one more, and that's the game, and thank goodness it didn't go another 30 turns. But yeah, okay, we're on to game 5, but it feels like Illusions sort of deserved the series. Alright, on to the next one. Okay, 5th and final game, and ZF brings that team for a 3rd time, and we see Cloyster coming in. Cloyster sort of balance, and ZF saying that only this team can win, it seems. Alright, anyway, here we go. I quite like that team from Starmei. I think I've seen it before. But Cloyster's a nice little one. Mega Kangaskhan is pretty decent too, and everything else on that team is just good, and it looks kind of right. Although I don't know about Groudon there, maybe Lando T would be better. But anyway, let's see if Starmei can beat this team. He finally has an answer to the Dark Arceus Ghost in his Darkrai. We see a Darkrai lead Ditto. Does either have a Sleep Absorber here, or is it a Dark Void Speed Tie? Is one of them Scarf? What's going to happen? It's exciting, isn't it? It's the game 5, and I'm trying to make it sound exciting. I'm just not that full of energy today, but well, we should be seeing PPL soon. And in comes Cloyster, which is presumably Sash 1. Dark Void finally hits it. So that's effectively out, but as long as Sleep Clause is active, it shouldn't be a big deal. Got to switch here, presumably to Darkrai. Which will take a nasty plot, but if Starmei wins the speed tie here, and he does, then he gets a Dark Void off. Bad dreams there, and now he's got to kill this. Does he have sub? He has Thunder, which he manages to hit, which is lucky, and it's Life Orb, so we see a switch here, so as not to activate Sleep Clause, and in comes Cloyster, which I don't understand. That goes down to a Draco Meteor, so it's not a big deal. But I guess you're presumably sacking that, so it would die by Life Orb recoil, and that would activate Sleep Clause again, but no. ZF wants to keep Sleep Clause active, which makes a lot of sense. And he brought in Dialga there to take a Thunder or Dark Pulse. In comes Groudon now, which presses his blades and misses. And Greninja Toxic Spikes there, and Precipice Blade 1-hit KOs. But that's pretty nice versus like the Kangaskhan and the Darkrai. And in comes Kyogre, suggesting that Latios wants to come in. We don't know if that Arceus forms an Ice Resist, but otherwise Cloyster is only Ice Resist on this team, so a Scarf or Specs Ice Beam here would be pretty devastating. And let's see what he does. Is he just going to stay in? He hasn't gotten up rocks, but it's quite a nice Pokemon to threaten Dialga on this team. Mega Kang looks good versus this team. Well, everything looks kind of good versus ZF's team, but in terms of actually winning this battle is a different ball game. So let's see what does he do. we know that it's Arceus Ghost, so he needs to keep Darkrai around. Which that Darkrai is effectively out of it already. He's dealing with Mewtwo, and Kyogre, and Dialga basically. So Origin Pulses, and in comes Latios, which can fire off a Draco Meteor here. Latios, Dialga can take it, but it is a solely boosted, timid Draco, so it's gonna pound Dialga. No, he brings in Darkrai instead, which would have taken a Psyshock, and that was a very good play, although it does deactivate Slip Claws, which is an issue. However, it does cede momentum to Illusions, and it lets him keep Dialga healthy. So we see a Calm Mind Draco set here from Starmei, and after another Calm Mind, I'm sure it will survive Draco Meteor, but no, he goes for a second Draco, predicting a Roar, which he does guess correctly. And in comes an Arceus Ghost of Starmie's own, which looks pretty threatening to this team, but Dialga's likely to Roar here again. He goes for a Focus Blast and misses, and it Draco Meteors. Does he have Recover? If he does, then presumably we'll see this here. And we do see Recover, and Kyogre makes the OG Ninja come in, and it can Ice Beam pretty much safely here. And if he does that, and he wants to keep Arceus Ghost in, and it's Specs, and it's a Specs Water Spout that takes it out. But, well, it's Water Spout, and it's Spec. It's not outspeeding Arceus Ghost, so therefore it's almost definitely Specs. In comes Mega Kangaskhan, though. Kangaskhan, before Mega evolves, only speed ties with Kyogre, so he has to Fake Out here, which sort of brings Dialga in for free, but it is fairly threatening here. He frustrations and wins the speed type, perhaps forgetting that regular Kangaskhan's only base 90. In comes Mewtwo. Do we see Sucker Punch? Do we see Mewtwo X or Mewtwo Y? There's no Mega on his team, and we do see Mewtwo X, and it low kicks and takes it out. And here, Latios can only be useful. It can Psyshock fairly safely, and in comes Dialga. A Draco Meteors and takes it out. And in comes Arceus Ghost, which could Focus Blast here, but what would he do? In that case, it's sort of a bit of a 50-50. It's hard to say really what's right here, but I feel like the game's very much in his favour, and he goes Darkrai instead, which gets poisoned. But if he had Focus, well, I guess that's safer than going to Focus Blast there, and it makes like a bit of a non-weighted 50-50, but he can Draco Meteor here if he wants to, but yeah, I don't think Draco Meteor here is even all that bad, but it won't KO the Arceus Ghost, so we need to double into Darkrai if he really wants to press the Arceus Ghost, but no, we see Stone Edge, and that takes it out. So all in all, Illusions wins the series with the same team in all of his victory matches and different teams completely in all of his losses. But yeah, low kick here should finish it off. And that should be game. Well, thank you for watching. Like, comment, rate, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Come on our forums and play with us. Yeah. And there's PPL soon as well, so see you next time.